swipe tag. The idea of first base line extended is completely dismissed and gone now. So what are your responsibilities? You know, if you know, runner on second base and a base hit to the outfield where he's scoring, of course you're going to drop off the point of the plate, keep an eye on the touch at third, all right? You've got a runner on third and a fly ball to left field where you've got to line up the tag. You're going to come out and line up that tag. So those concepts don't change. It's where do we go and what do we do as that play develops at the plate. So I'm going to be the catcher to kind of point things out. And Mike, if you want to jump in behind here, you know, the concept is called the wedge. And you're basically forming a wedge almost on the catcher's back. You know, we used to talk about in the past to give yourself a little bit of distance to allow room for things to happen. The first example that I like to talk about distance is that that pop-up that happens right in front of the catcher here at home plate. You know, we used to drop back to the edge of the dirt, and the catcher's here trying to catch a foul ball, and this catcher takes one step, and now the wind blows, and now the catcher's coming over here. You're scrambling to get over here. So the first idea is you almost got to be right up here on top of the catcher to read what he does. Now remember, this is a pop-up that's in the general vicinity of home plate where a step or two can make the difference of the foul ball here, a foul ball there, whatever it might be. So keeping that concept in mind, as plays happen and develop, you know, you're still going to drop off the point of the plate, jump in anytime you want. Drop off the point of the plate, but now you're going to start reading basically this side of the catcher for every play at the plate. So a throw, generally speaking, we're playing the percentages, but generally speaking, a throw from right field, catcher's going to be out here. He's going to try and maybe maintain the plate, but he's always going to come out here a little bit. And what's that going to do 99.9% of the time? Turn it into a swipe tag, okay? Now, like we used to talk about, third baseline extended, if everybody did what they're supposed to do for a normal swipe tag, catcher comes around here and the guy slides straight through, and Mike at third baseline extended has a perfect view of that. But we know the players are trying to avoid that tag. And more guys, as they approach home plate, are coming around and trying to do a head first slide with a swipe here. So the idea is, as long as Mike is on my edge here, he's not going to get flatlined, okay? So as that throw comes around, I need kind of a slide. Buzz, I don't want you to dive and get dirty, but now, as a normal runner, I've got a throw coming in from right field. You're trying to score. Go ahead, come on down and try and so like slow motion. I'm coming in. I'm catching the ball, and now what am I going to do as I start coming in? You're going to try and get farther away, correct?
Yeah, I can't slide from here.
No, it's okay. But the idea is, Mike is staying close enough and on my hip here to see this tag here, okay? We're not overextending towards this side because now the catcher's going to block you out. So you're finding this little 30-degree wedge to keep an eye on that play here, okay? So go ahead and, Jeff, give me like just a toss as he's approaching.
Guys,
just throw it over the top, apart a little bit.
Yeah, slide.
Not slide, but like just avoid the tag as best you can.
Slide.
So avoid the tag as best you can. So go ahead, hustle. Here comes the throw. Very nice. All right, nice work.
Right.
Mike's in his perfect position, but as that slide comes through, you better be ready to get out of dodge, jump over the guys, be ready for whatever happens there. The big thing that catches us, though, is, Jeff, go ahead. Okay? Now, Mike kind of got lucky on that in the sense that I got it and brought it around this way. Now, Mike's adjustment to that is the throw that comes this way. We talk about staying on this hip, but Mike could also, basically, it's almost first baseline as opposed to first baseline extended. Now, coming in, though, you've got to be careful with, just come on in standing up. As this play happens, coming back, as he comes in, keep going. Now, you could get flat line there. So, it's a couple different choices right there. Do you react and just continue to swing off me and swing off me? Remember, if he's starting close enough to me from the beginning, the catcher's starting here, that throw's starting to come in, the catcher comes up here, Mike's back in this corner, the throw pulls me this way, Mike's going to keep following me this way, and then boom, I come back. Now he's on this hip because of the angle of it coming this way. So really, that's the big difference is that throw that pulls the catcher this way where he's got to come back, then the wedge flip-flops. But the majority of the time, tell me if I'm wrong here, but the majority of the time, that wedge is going to stay right here. Now the throw could come up the line here a little bit. Come on down, Mike, stay with me. Boom. Look where he's calling this play. I mean, we've had weird plays where, come down this way, stay with me, Mike. Come down this way, come down this way. Boom. I mean, there's going to be a time or two that you're going to be out here in front, and if you're Rob Drake, you take your mask off and your hat's off too, and your beautiful hair's slowing in the wind, but you get this look and you're out here in front of home plate. We've never taught that in a million years. But if you think about the logic of just staying on the catcher's hip and reading how that catcher's turning, it's relatively simple. I don't want to try and downplay it, but if you kind of use the common sense aspect of it, it really is kind of simple. You can't get too far. The big thing is you can't drop off the point of the plate, come all the way back to the edge of the dirt circle, and then have to scramble to readjust. So you're going to be a lot closer to the catcher than you've ever been before, but then as the play comes in, throw coming from left field, come on down, throw coming from left field, and turns into a collision, he's still in that wedge to get that look right there. So I'm not trying to burn through this. I think it's pretty simple, but it's a new concept to you guys. Some of you guys might have heard it but never really saw it. If anybody wants to jump in, Mike, if you want to jump in, or if you guys have any questions, that's really the whole gist of the concept right there. Any questions or anything that just...
If I can add two things. So principally, if you can remember, if the runner's to the outside of Andy's left hip, split the difference between Andy's hip to the runner and the runner. That's what they're teaching. Split the difference. Split the difference. Then the other thing is where we would always stay back off the plate, you're piggybacking this guy like he's got a knapsack on his back. If he goes up the line, you're going with him.
I can't stress that enough, is that you are going to be on top of the catcher like you've never been. I mean, you're going to be almost as close as him as you are calling balls and strikes. But it's the best way. If you lose that distance and something happens where the catcher's got to make an adjustment, like I said, with that pop-up at home plate, you're right near him, a step on either side is going to get you that fair or foul. Just like you think it's developing this way and then something weird happens with the throw, if you're too deep, that one step now becomes three, and you might not be in position to make that call. Don, thanks for jumping in. That was very good. I appreciate that. Do we have anything else?
I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
Learning this like a year ago at a clinic, being newer to umpiring, one of the things I noticed was there's a medium there. If you're too close to the catcher, especially as the tag comes down, you see the tag, but then you might not see his arm where it already is. So you got to find that comfort zone where you're not too close, where you're far enough. You'll see the tag but not realize his arm's on it. On home plate.
The only constant is with that throw coming and the throw and the tag coming this way is being on this side. That's really the only constant we can get. We can't say, well, you want to be 2.5 feet away or 3. You got to figure out close enough but not too close that if something unusual happens and he tags them, just lay out here. Just lay out. And here's a tag, here, and the foot's there. I mean, I think Mike's in a good position to be able to see this from here. And this play, you're good. That happens so quickly that it's going to be bang, bang, and you're going to get argued with either way. But if my manager comes out to argue with Mike, who's right here to see that play right there, it's going to be pretty easy for you guys to sell right there. Now, whatever that manager says, so be it. You have to deal with it. But closer is definitely better. It's just not too close that anything explodes on you. But still, the first couple times this happens, it's difficult to even practice it right now. It's just going to have to happen in an actual game. And the first time you might go, man, I was too close or I was too far away or that happened out of nowhere. If you just keep that idea of off the hip or any tag going this way, you just stay with it. As soon as that throw starts to do this, keep drifting, and then it's just a question of, ideally the runner's going to be smart enough to want to come back this way, and then I'm reaching back, so.
Yeah, and the big thing is you just have to read the throw. The easiest ones are, obviously coming from left field because you have everything right in front of you. You have the catcher, you have the runner, you have the ball. It's where you have a throw coming from right field where you're watching the ball here, you have the runner, in your periphery, the catcher's in front of you, but don't wait to read the catcher. See if you can read the throw first, because the catcher will take you if you kind of go with the ball a little bit. The catcher is going to go to that ball. So you're already going to, in a sense, when he catches the ball and you're already beginning to be in the spot you want to be. Does that make sense? So initially read the throw. A lot of times you're going to be able to see out of the hand whether you have the possibility of a true throw to home plate.
Keep in mind that I guess the other big thing is we talk about being set and head and shoulders level, and that basically goes out the door for these types of plays right now. You probably 99.9% of the time are going to be moving as the play develops, because especially if it's this and it's a big twist in one motion, I mean, Mike, just follow the wedge as this whole tag comes around to wherever it's going to happen. I mean, Mike could be back there, so you're still going to be moving. It's just then once you see that tag happen and whatever happens, take the time to gather yourself and then step into your signal and sell the heck out of it.
This is the one that it comes in heated. Right here.
Because if he comes in on the side to slap
Yep.
it up, this is where the wedge stays, right there.
And that, like I said, that's what, I mean, these guys do not slide straight into, I mean, this coming from here, you're good.
Oh, I'm giving you okay to do
But no. But that's exactly it right there. Those guys are coming in here and trying to catch this, or they're trying to catch this. It's going to be out here. So especially if that throw is coming from right field, I mean, this guy's a fool to not try and catch the base this way, and then to tag and come back, it could be a race to the plate like this. And Mike's still in a great spot to see that this way. Any questions? Any other questions or observations or thoughts?